afternoon and welcome to All Indiana Bets. I'm Danielle McConnell. This is the only show where you can win a bet to pronounce things wrong. Plus, we got NFL games for you.
My name is Jason Hammer, and I think the NFL missed a big opportunity this week. Every week, they should hire a guy off the couch to see if he could beat Josh McDaniels.
Hey, I'm Scott Long, and this is the show that follows a show with Anthony Calhoun, who talks to Tony Dungy. I talk to Tony Bag of Donuts on who to bet on this week, and I'm 13-2 in college. NFL not so good. Let's bring it on.
Let's go.
This is All Indiana Bets, presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook. We are all Caesars.
Here we go. I'm allowing you to pronounce it wrong after yesterday.
Let me just say right now, I feel revved up, and I think part of it is this is TV. I didn't grow up with TV. Like, I watched it, but I've never been in TV. And you have to wear these earpieces like these guys. I forgot to bring it, so I don't hear the producer. I'm not going to be stopped over anything. This is going to be the total chaos show that we've all been looking for. Danielle, I'll let you do your thing.
Don't you worry, I will stop him, people.
Okay.
No, wait, but what's this whole pronunciation thing? Let's say somebody is tuning in that didn't watch yesterday. There was a little bit of a back and forth between you two.
So yesterday we had a bet, Mr. Long and I, that he won by 1 point.
Yes.
And so he could pronounce caramel.
Okay.
Caramel, like
How do you pronounce
flavor.
Danielle is a woman who was a girl who grew up in Carmel.
Yes.
And that's how I pronounce the caramel, not the caramel. Not either way, it's caramel. And also I'll mention, you brought in salted caramel. I guess I'm old enough to know when there was caramel without salt. It tastes the same damn way.
No, it does not. Now I will debate you.
Hey, how about that Colts and Eagles game today? Can we talk about the Colts and Eagles game today?
Jeff Saturday is 1-0 as head coach. So they are 6.5 today versus the Eagles. A little tougher today. So before we get to that in a moment, let's toss to Charlie Clifford and Angela Morian. They're down for the check down.
Morning, guys. Jeff Saturday's home debut. We know the roof is literally going to blow off this place when he's introduced pregame. Here's the script on the other side. We just saw Nick Sirianni, odds-on favorite for NFL Coach of the Year in only year 2 in Philadelphia. He's done a fantastic job. Angela, what's the latest with Sirianni's team pregame?
First of all, the biggest thing the Eagles won't have today is tight end Dallas Goedert. He went down against the Commanders last week for a season-ending injury. Well, I should say he's on IR.
Yes.
He could be back, but what's important is he's not going to be in Lucas Oil Stadium here today. Also, A.J. Brown, the new acquisition for the Eagles this year. He knows this Colts team very well, Charlie. He played for the Titans the last 3 years. He's 4-2 against the Colts. He says he loves playing in Indy, so keep an eye on him today.
We'll see if Jonathan Taylor can go crazy. The Eagles have allowed 320 total rushing yards the last 2 weeks. That's the weak spot on this stellar team. Angela, great to see you. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you guys.
Can we talk about the word literally for just a moment?
Okay.
Because I think it's kind of getting thrown around a little loosely. And I love Charlie Clifford. Charlie Clifford! One of the best dudes you'll ever meet. But the roof will literally blow off today for Jeff Saturday's home game. Literally. I hope not. Do we understand what the word literally means? There's a radio commercial where somebody says, I will literally pick up your house. No, you're not. You're not going to literally pick up my house today. It's going to be a fun atmosphere, but I hope and pray the roof does not literally blow off.
Oh my goodness.
Danielle, have you ever hung out with your high school grammar teacher?
Yeah, right. That's what I feel like right
That's
now.
the least fun person in the room. There you go.
I can't believe that is what you got out of that whole video.
Yeah,
He lost me after that. He lost me after that.
Figuratively, you need to shut up, okay?
Scott, save the show and give up your first pick.
Yes. Okay, so, wow, what are we going to do? The Colts, and I hate giving these picks. Who knows what happens with the Colts on this? But they mentioned one important part, and that is the tight end, Dallas Goedert, incredibly vital. Probably the missing piece in the Colts season. If they had a tight end to throw to, such the security blanket for a average to maybe a little above average quarterback. I think Hurts is missing him already. He's going to miss him today. I love what the Colts did last week. Fancy, you get an offensive lineman as your head coach and you demand to run the ball. And your $20 million guard, who hasn't been a run blocker at all this year, had it the best run blocking grade in the NFL last week. I don't know who that guy was. It appeared like he was the guy from 2 or 3 years ago. He's back. Quentin Nelson, I'm off your ass for one day. And I know I'm not supposed to say that, but I'm on a TV show where I've been drinking. So ultimately, take the Colts. This is my last show, but I was having fun during it. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I feel like that warrants a standing ovation from the representative of Iowa.
Well, as I walk off, I'm
You were
done.
supposed to save the show.
I didn't, I just lost it.
Go, 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 go.
Listen, it's hard to follow that, but I kind of agree with Scott here.
No.
I like the Colts with the points. Now, you heard in the show before ours, countdown to kickoff, Ken Dilger says he likes the Colts on the money line.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have enough hair in my coconuts to make the money line
Wait
pick,
a minute, that's not right
but
either.
I like the Colts to hang around. I'm getting almost a touchdown at home. And look, I don't care what Bill Cowher has to say or any of these other folks. This team just, through 1 week, looked different under Jeff Saturday. There's a little mojo going on right now. And if they can fix that offensive line the way they did last week, tougher competition, but if they can keep that line rolling, I think the Colts stick around in this game and they keep it within a touchdown. Give me the Colts.
He put his glasses on. I feel like I need
because
to
I
stop
got
the
a little
show.
info. You know, I said some things that I want to say. Wish TV does not always approve of anything that I say. I think
No.
that's a fact.
He's not lying.
He's not.
But here's some actual info from the Cashman. Eagles 1-5 against the spread their last 6 road games. Colts 18-7-1 against the spread last 26 home games versus a team with a winning record. That gives you a little reason also why the spread has moved down a little bit. This game came out at 8. I was like, I love it at 8.
Is it really a home game for the Colts? Have you seen downtown? It's a lot of green. You're going to hear Fly, Eagles Fly inside
Hey
of
guys,
Lucas
scan
Oil
the
Stadium
QR code
today.
if you want to keep up with these guys' bets, and then we'll be back with some player prop bets.
Green's an ugly
right after
color.
this.
All Indiana Bets is presented for the people by Caesar Sportsbook, the only sports betting app you need.
Welcome back. We have a player prop bet on the Colts game from you.
Listen, anybody could do a player prop bet. I've got a prop bet that's similar to a degenerate special that we do on Saturdays. I've got a prop bet that feels like it's free money. All I need you to do is follow me. I feel like Jerry Maguire here. Who's coming with me?
Hey, this is your time if you need to run to the bathroom or go to the kitchen. Go
Get a
ahead,
drink of
Hammer.
cold water because we drink cold water.
Longest field goal kick today.
Oh, God.
Over or under 46.5 yards. I'm looking at 2 teams today with the Colts and the Eagles that got pretty good defenses. The Eagles shored up that defense right before the trade deadline, and the Colts got a pretty good defense too. But you've also got some playmakers. So this tells me that the Eagles will move the ball, but the Colts can make some stops. The Colts, if that offensive line is fixed, at least competent, they can move the ball. Jonathan Taylor, dude, could have been the MVP last year. So I think you're going to get guys in scoring position, but might not get all the way down to the red zone. So this means just one kick. One stinking kick that's 47 yards or more, your toes are tapping. There's pretty good juice on this line, actually. It's a pretty good bet to make. Longest field goal made today, over 46.5 yards. Put that in your bank. Thank me tomorrow.
Question for Danielle. How much sleep do you get at night? On average?
Oh, maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Okay, there you go.
Because it's interrupted.
Okay, and Hammer, you are famous for sleeping 4 or 5 hours. You talk about it. And this is why he sleeps 4 or 5 hours. He's up in bed like he can't sleep because he's thinking about player prop bets.
Right. When my wife is in the mood, I have to tell her, I'm studying Chase McLaughlin right now, honey. I appreciate the time, but the show needs me. The people need me.
Hey guys, it's time for our second picks.
There we go.
Mr. Long, why don't you go first?
Now, this is where you need me, because Hammer, I heard, I'm going to give it away. He's on the other side of this, and the other side seems like the logical one. The Vikings are 8-1. That is spectacular. They're playing at home. They'll hear the woo, woo, like they're in Game of Thrones. I mean, it's cool, the whole skull thing. I get it. But this is a Vikings team that's like, they've scored 35 more points than their opponents. They win super close games. Okay, well, maybe that's why we should take them. The Cowboys, great spot for them. There's a reason why Vegas put this line the way they did. The sharps are all over the Cowboys. Guess who's a sharp today? Me. So go with the Cowboys. Love this spot. I think the Vikings line has some problems holding up against that Cowboys pass rush, and they are going to be on fire after last week.
Okay, Hammer, who do you have for your second pick?
At 12:15 p.m. Indianapolis time, Scott Long says the Vikings win close games.
Yes.
And that's exactly why I've got them today against the Cowboys. So being at home, they always say being at home is worth 3 points in the NFL. Well, the Vikings are at home today. They're feeling pretty good. They're coming off a crazy win against Buffalo, a game they had no business winning, but they found a way to do it. And now here comes America's teams, the Sweethearts, who always seem to get a little bit more juice than Vegas than sometimes they deserve. This is another one of those cases. And if you look at the money, and we'll talk about this later with another game, but a lot of people are betting on the Cowboys here. Public road dogs go to die. Public road dogs always go down. Give me the Vikings at home with the points.
He already put his glasses on. I don't even know how to respond to that. He already put his glasses on, but that was for old people problems.
Yes.
But he's really going to put his glasses on for the long shot because that's coming up next on
Yes.
All Indiana Bets.
The Long Shot, presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook.
Okay, put them on. Give them what they want.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
That's what the people want right there. Superman putting on the cape, Scott putting on his
And
glasses.
he can see now, too.
That hurts. True hurts. So here we go. It's the long shot time. Where am I? I'm over there. Here's the point. You watched the game last week. You're like, why would anyone take the Raiders? Because they're playing the Broncos. The Broncos are a disaster. And I'm going to give you a little Colts info on the whole thing. So the Broncos coach is the worst. Has there been a worse coach in the NFL, Hammer?
No.
Nathaniel Hackett.
No.
He has been atrocious. This team was pretty good last year. They were missing a quarterback. Allegedly, they brought one in. They're paying him at the top of the line. So they bring him in. He was what? He was Green Bay Packers offensive coordinator. Do you know who the quarterback's coach for him was? Well, his name, I can't even pronounce it, but he's the quarterback's coach for the coach for the Colts, and he turned down the offensive coordinator job. The guy that worked for Nathaniel Hackett told Jim Irsay, I don't want that job. I don't like Jeff Saturday. I'll go back to the CFL. Look at his LinkedIn. It's atrocious. Oh, my God. It just makes me crazy. Once again, Irsay made the right choice. I'm making the right choice here. I don't trust anything that's going on with Russell Wilson, Nathaniel Hackett. The Raiders probably should have won that game last week. One or two little plays. That's all it takes with the Raiders. This is the week they win. It's a toilet bowl of a game in the AFC West. I'll go with the Broncos. No, Raiders.
Okay, Hammer, you got a third pick.
So I've been gambling for a long time, well before it was legal here in the great state of Indiana. I'm the kind of guy that knows what it's like to wake up in a trunk and to have some tickets sticking out of your pocket. And what I've learned about the gambling game throughout my
normal,
45 years of life on God's green earth is sometimes the numbers tell the story. So I looked at the numbers of this Bears and Falcons game. And it seems like even though The Falcons are still the favorite. Everybody's jumping on the Bears. This was at 3. Most of the week, it's down to 3.5. It's down to 2.5. And because Justin Fields has been so good individually, people think the Bears as a team have been good individually. No, you can be both. Justin Fields can be dynamic and the Bears can still stink and they cannot stop anybody. And if you look at the analytics of the betting tickets of who's doing what here, the big bettors, we call them the sharps, they're betting on the Bears. So Danielle, what have we learned here? Where do public dogs go? What happens to public dogs?
Oh gosh, they die.
They die.
Oh my goodness.
They get put down. And the Falcons have been really good against the spread all year long. One of the best teams in the year against covering the number. Give me the Falcons at home. We're laying 2.5. I like it better than 3. We were given a gift. I got the Falcons.
The public dogs get put down?
Public dogs get euthanized and put down.
Stop it! Patty
I'm going
Spiller
to
just
the bar.
turned off the
We
TV.
LUNAZUL locks. I don't want to talk about dead dogs.
I don't
you
either. I
guys,
don't like
you
it.
take me out. Go.
Go.
Oh, Patty Spitler just sent me a text. I don't like this.
Yeah, we're off.
The LUNAZUL Lock is brought to you by LUNAZUL Tequila.
Oh, man.
What do you have?
So this is a new bottle because we may or may not have drank the old one.
They're happy today.
This is another LUNAZUL tequila.
It's better than the ones we've had before. I've never had that. That's exciting.
Humoso. I believe that's what it's called. El Humoso, which, if my Beech Grove High School education is correct, Humoso is a Spanish word meaning broom.
No, it's not. I know what it means. It means
my.
tequila served with Mountain Dew.
That's what it is.
There we go.
The
Delicious.
nectar of the gods with Humoso. It doesn't get any better than this.
It's diet.
I think I threw up in my throat. Anyway, Scott, LUNAZUL locks. Let's go to you.
Okay, so this is another one. You know, it's you got to hold your nose on a lot of my picks. The big games, I feel like.
You got to hold your nose sitting next to you, too.
Well, that's another story that I do a good job of. I will share right now, this is one of those games where it really just comes down to two bad teams battling it out. One team I still think definitely is going to win the line of scrimmage, and that is New Orleans. And I just feel like they've probably been the most underrated team in the NFL in regards to their statistics versus what their actual record is. So I put them on. The Rams, Super Bowl team, that's far in the past. Matt Stafford's totally beat up. Cup is gone. He was the engine for that team last year. They are a disaster. They're one of the, I think they're one of the 3 or 4 worst teams in the NFL. I think Aaron Donald's kind of checked out. I think Ramsey wants to get traded. This is about the Saints are in a division where they still think they're in the playoff chase. And they are. That's how bad it is. So go with the team in the NFC South that has a chance. The Rams season is over.
Okay, Hammer, who do you have for your lock?
So here's what we know about the Baltimore Ravens. Fast starts, horrible finishes. And this brings us to this matchup today with the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are getting a lot of points, but they're banged up. They traded their best player. Their quarterback situation's a mess. I don't feel comfortable either way with a spread full game. But I do love the Ravens in the first half here. The Ravens in the first half, one of the best teams in the NFL at covering the first half number. So a touchdown, okay, it's kind of big, but the Panthers stink. So I will take the Baltimore Ravens at home, outdoors, against the Panthers, first half, just 1 touchdown. You make that bet, you avoid the backdoor cover, which could hit you later on in that game.
Can we explain how that works, Hammer? Like, if you go into Caesar Sportsbook, for example, you click on the game.
Right.
Okay, and then it'll have different options on top of it. You can do other things than just bet on the game. So
Right.
You can have halftime bets. There might be quarter bets. So you got to use your brain on some of these things. When you look at a team, you're like, I can't bet the team for the full game. The great example has been the Ravens. I've lost 3 times this year in the last 3 minutes on the Ravens. If I would have bet them in the first half, I would have cashed a check and went on vacation.
There's hundreds of ways you could bet every game, honestly.
Hey, and another way is prop bets. We hope you like them.
Oh,
Coming up next
let's
is
go.
Prop, Lock, or Drop It. That's next on All Indiana Bets.
It is time to play Prop, Lock, or Drop It.
Yes.
Not
I like how you
unlike-
put the accent on the it.
It. First up, seems like we say this guy's name every week in the segment. Who is he? He's Hammer's favorite hammer to bet. Justin Fields taking on the Falcons. Oh, it's the over-under for his longest rush of the day. Oh, that's a little
different.
tweak, because the market has probably caught up finally.
On the amount of carries, it's gone way up.
Right. So of the day, it's set at 18.5 yards. Lock or drop on the best, maybe runner in the whole NFL.
I am going to lock this bad boy in. You don't walk away from the table on a heater. If we've learned anything from the movie The Hangover, you don't walk away on a heater. And Justin Fields is on a rushing heater right now. What he's done in the last 5 weeks, you'd be a fool not to bet on him. In the past, we've done his total amount of carries. Well, Vegas has finally caught on, and they jacked that number way up. But the longest rush, just 18.5 yards. Justin Fields is able of going to the house every time he touches the ball. He's a special talent. I like him. I don't like the Bears. So we're going to rock this one in. We're going to lock this one in, and this is an over.
And he is going to be flying on turf indoors, which is not Soldier Field. So
Correct.
He is going to be excited. Next, Texans taking on the Commanders. Please, Lord, tell me that's not one of our choices in Indy to watch. Quarterback Davis Mills, over-under for touchdown passes, is set at 1.5. Do you lock or do you drop?
So at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of hype on Davis Mills. They thought, you know what? We don't need that Deshaun Watson guy. We've got Davis Mills. And even if we stink in the draft, we don't need a quarterback. We don't need Stroud or Young. We've got Davis Mills. It's been a bit of a setback for Davis Mills this year, so we are going to drop this one down. This is going to be an under. I can see him throwing one, but I can't see him throwing two. Washington's defense, not that bad, and I can't stress this enough, the Texans are a mess. So this one is an under, drop it down.
So next we go to, this has got to be Jim Irsay's favorite quarterback. His name is Kenny. He loves Kenny's. Kenny Aronoff, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Kenny Moore, Kenny Pickett. He's got an over-under on interception total set at, wow, less than one, half. Do you lock? I know what I would do, or do you drop?
Sometimes we just need to stop overthinking things and lock it in. So I anticipate that you're going to see a lot of passing today. I know it's outdoors. I know that it's cold. But when the Steelers and Bengals get together, crazy things happen. I think the ball will be in the air. And with a rookie quarterback in a rivalry game, somebody is going to get their hands on a pass. Don't overthink this one. This is an over. Lock it in.
So we come up on the last one. It's the G-Men. That's the fancy word for the Giants. With
Right.
Peter, of course, hosting the Lions. And Saquon Barkley, his over-under. And man, it's great to see what he has put together this year. Gets a coach that knows what he's doing. Over-under for rushing attempts, 22.5. That is a lot. It's cold. Lock or drop.
And yes, competent coach, but also a healthy Saquon Barkley. And when the Giants win football games, he has a lot of carries. And they're winning football games. I don't think anybody expected the Giants to be this good this year. And while that is a big number, Scott's right. If you look at the last 6 to 7 weeks of what Saquon Barkley's workload has been, this is not out of the ordinary. This is par for the course. So it's going to be cold. It's going to be outdoors. It's going to be windy. That's a recipe for the running game. Give me the over. Lock this in.
So next up is Final Picks. This show is flying by, and there's only more great things, including Union Jack. I will get into that. I used to work there. Now they're here. Finally, let's bring it up. And the Mick Pick. It's all happening where? On All Indiana Bets. Stay tuned.
Presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook. Your first bet is on Caesars. Bet up to $1,250. And if you don't win, you'll get it back as a free bet. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and over.
Hey, welcome back
What?
to All Indiana Bets,
Are
where
we
we
still on the air?
love dogs, by
You
the
guys
way.
got a lot of growing up to do.
Me?
The things that happened during the commercial breaks in here are shameful.
I'm not allowed
Shameful.
to do it on camera, what I did to him. We'll just leave it there.
There we go.
Scott, final pick, go.
Now this is a game.
Yes.
This is a game. This is the kind of game you want to watch on a Sunday night. That's what I want to watch. It's the Chiefs. It's the Chargers. It's offense. These games always go down to the wire. This is why I'm on the Chargers. If you've been paying attention this year, Chiefs are winning games. They are not covering. That's been the case for almost a year and a half now. The market loves Mahomes. Why wouldn't they? He's magic. But this is a gambling show. The Chargers in this circumstance, I love. I think Herbert will keep them in the game. Could be a backdoor cover. Could be the Chiefs kick a field goal at the end. But take the Chargers and take it to the bank, just like everyone watching on Saturday who are watching me be 13-2 on college picks. Had to get that off my chest.
Oh, here we go. Okay,
Not
Aaron,
proud at all.
who do you got?
So a lot of people think just because it's cold, you have to pick an under. No, that's a big misconception about gambling. Wind more than cold affects the over-under. And the wind shouldn't be too bad for the Bengals and Steelers today. Now I know what you're thinking. Rookie quarterback on one side. Bengals, they're banged up. They're missing some weapons on the other side. But these teams play crazy games every time. Every time they go at it, and the number's pretty low. Because of injuries, because of rookies, and because of the cold weather, I think that's a low total. So we're going to go over on this one. The Bengals and Steelers, field position, that could be a big deal today. You could see some turnovers, you could see some interceptions, things like that, and those will turn into points. We are going to ride the lightning and take the over in this rivalry matchup.
What do we got going on now, Danielle? We got your pick coming
My
up?
pick.
All
Did
right,
you need to talk and do something?
I just, I
anyway.
saw Union Jack has these. These
Put it
are
on me.
amazing. I'm so excited.
Wow.
Put it on me.
Go
Here
ahead.
we go. Where am I at? Okay, Mick pick. Commanders. They have won the last 4 out of 5 games. Why? Because of Heineke. Wentz is healthy enough, but he's not playing today. Heineke is. He's our man. Texans, I'm sorry. You're just better off at losing at this point. So take the Commanders -3. The Colts had to suck for luck. The Texans, what do they need to do for Stroud? Help me,
Not
boys.
too proud for Stroud.
Not too proud for Stroud. Take the Commanders -3. When we come back,
I
though,
take these, the pretzel breadsticks from Union Jack. We'll be eating them soon.
we'll be eating that soon. But first, we have a little horse racing. The final 6 race of this year at Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino happens on Friday. And we have everything you need to know. That's next on All Indiana Bets.
We got a big night of horse racing coming up at Harrah's Hoosier Park. It is the Thanksgiving Classic. We've got 4 divisions of 3-year-olds. We got the pacing fillies. We've got the pacing colts. We've got the trotter fillies and the trotter colts. Joining me now is Jacob Reinheimer from Harrah's Hoosier Park. Jacob comes from a long line of horse racing people. Jacob, tell us about the excitement surrounding the Thanksgiving Classic.
Absolutely. This is kind of our send-off for the Grand Circuit year here at Harrah's Hoosier Park. This is kind of the finale of our championship season that starts with our Dam Patch event, the signature event here at Hoosier Park in August, which we actually saw Bulldog Hanover win. Goes all the way here through November, wraps up with the Thanksgiving Classic. It's a huge night on Black Friday, so get your shopping done early. Come to the track and enjoy some great Grand Circuit racing action. Actually, funny story with Bulldog Hanover. The inaugural Thanksgiving Classic was won last year by Bulldog Hanover in the 3-year-old Colt Pacing Division. So you're going to see some good horses here at Hoosier Park Friday night. Always great to see that Grand Circuit action.
Arguably the greatest pacer in history. He's got some strong ties to Harrah's Hoosier Park. Let's talk about what the crowd will encounter if they come out to the racetrack on that great Black Friday night.
Yeah, so we're actually going to get the racing action started a little bit earlier on that Black Friday day. We're going to start racing at 4 o'clock Eastern as opposed to our typical 6:15 post time. Reason for that being is after the live racing, we're going to have a free concert in the Terrace Showroom stage in the grandstand. Flynnville Train, a local band here at Hoosier Park, is going to be offering a free concert following live racing starting at 9 o'clock after racing.
Now, in this internet age, it's possible for all of us, I always kid around and call myself a degenerate railbird, but we can watch horse racing on our laptops at home. But I think you and I are in agreement that it is infinitely more fun to be at the track. Last time I was in Anderson, I got to see the aforementioned Bulldog Hanover. Make the case for coming to the track on Friday night, Jacob.
Absolutely. I mean, just getting out here, seeing the speed, being around these horses, hearing them on the racetrack, being at the rail when something big's going on, like that Bulldog Hanover, set that track record mile. Being on the rail was electric that night, hearing the roar of the crowd, cheering them home to get that track record. And the same thing on Friday night, seeing these Grand Circuit horses. We're going to have great competitive racing, full fields. Everybody's going to be out here. There's tons of energy on the racetrack, especially for this holiday weekend. Always a great time to be out here at Hoosier Park watching the live racing.
And that's the kind of information you can only get if you are there at the track for the Thanksgiving Classic. He is Jacob Reinheimer. He is our source of horse racing light and knowledge. Jacob, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
See, this is what you get with All Indiana Bets. You get a little horse racing, you get a little football. We might even do a little World Cup later on. I don't know. But for those just tuning in, Scott, give us your picks.
Okay, so we're going to start with the Colts plus 6.5 against Philly. What's Philly known for?
Cheesesteaks.
Cheesesteaks, pretzels, right? Not as good as the Union Jack pretzel.
Boom. That just happened.
Suck on that, Philly. That's my special for you. Cowboys minus 1.5. That's the winning side. Hammer does not agree.
No.
We probably should set up bad. We don't have time. Raiders plus 2.5. It's about the Broncos. The Saints minus 2.5. That's about their opponent too, the Rams. Those teams have given up. Chargers plus 5.5. That's a great game. Save your time and definitely catch that at 8:20.
I'm with Scott on the Colts. Again, getting that many points at home, I don't need him to win. I need him to hang around. Minnesota's getting points at home. I like the Vikings getting the points at home. The Falcons, very few teams have been as good against the spread as they have been. I'll take them. The Ravens in the first half. Second half has been a disaster for the Ravens all year. First half, pretty solid. Give me -7 in the first half, and we're going over with the Bengals and the Steelers. That's a low total. It's going to be cold, but the wind should be manageable. We're going to ride the lightning. So, producer Peter, in the studio, you've got a teaser lined up. Don't tease me, bro. What do we got?
First of all, I've just made an executive decision regarding the show moving forward. After seeing how dapper George Mallet looked in that interview, bow ties only moving forward. I want a full tuxedo. No more beer t-shirts, Hammer. This isn't your backyard barbecue.
Hey, fun fact, Peter, I worked at Steak and Shake for my very first job, and they give you bow ties. What I used to do is when I'd get off with my shift, I would take my shirt off, put the bow tie on, and drive home like a Chippendales dancer and smile at chicks.
So here's the bet. You guys are on opposite sides of the Vikings-Cowboys game. Whoever loses the bet has to do that on the show next week. How's that sound?
Okay, you bring the bow tie in, Scott. I know you can't hear Peter, but the bet is opposite side of Cowboys and Vikings. Somebody's got to wear the George Mallet bow tie next week.
Totally on!
Let's do it. All right, teaser quickly. We're 8-3 on these this year. What do you want me to do? Colts plus 13.5. It's situational, right? Eagles played 70 snaps defensively on Monday Night Football against Washington. Quick turnaround. I think the Colts will be able to run the ball, keep it close. 13.5. Texans plus 10. Again, Washington short week. I think that's too many points. And then Steelers plus 10.5 against the Bengals. Mike Tomlin as a home underdog. That's an auto play for me. And then quickly a bonus pick. Scott mentioned it earlier with the Rams. They're a mess right now. We're going to go under their team total. That's 17 points against the New Orleans Saints. I don't see how they score more than 2 touchdowns in this game without Cooper Kupp. The way that offensive line has looked this year, the Saints defensive line is going to get after him. So we'll go under on the Rams team total. And I hope I didn't scare our viewers off for next week's show with the proposal I just sent out there for you two. Please tune in anyway.
We give the people what they want here on All Indiana Bets. And what do we got coming up next, Mr. Alumni?
Yeah, I worked at Union Jack for 2 years. They're here. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk soccer too. Oh, there they are.
Why
right
am
up
I
there.
always the last one to get food? I'm the fattest guy here. Why am I the last one to always get the food?
Let's get to it.
This is my favorite part of the show, where we get to eat and talk about food and talk about gambling and talk about booze. We got Chelsea, we got Megan from Union Jack's here. Now, Scott, you were once fired from Union Jack, correct?
No, Chi-Chi's.
Not by me.
I was fired by Chi-Chi's. But on West Side, Scott was perfect as a waiter there. So it was almost like Ed DeBevick's, where they kind of give you crap. People would come in from racing teams and they would know. I knew what I was talking about. I would give them crap. We have two superstars here. I feel like it's full circle. I love soccer, World Cup coming up. I love Union Jack. Why wouldn't you?
Look at this spread here.
You know, Chelsea, right?
Yes.
Chelsea, who is a little bit of a fraud. Her name's Chelsea.
Yeah.
She loves Liverpool.
I do.
But it makes sense. Okay, that's some soccer jokes. Boom!
It's always good to call your food sponsor a fraud on television.
I know, that's what we do.
I'll take it.
So these pretzel breadsticks,
Yes.
you know, I don't know your opinion, Hammer. I feel like they're a little better because they remind me of me. They're salty with more flavor than a regular, boring breadstick that you see on all
Chelsea,
these other
please talk so he stops.
What do you got here
I'm
today?
absolutely
please?
happy to talk. These pretzel breadsticks, I actually do think they are delicious. We
They
bake
are.
them in
Well,
our
let's
pizza.
find out.
Yeah, we bake them in our
Dip
pizza
them in
oven,
there.
which makes them so chewy on the inside. I think they're amazing. There's a mustard and a house-made queso.
Yeah.
We use that house-made queso on the mac and cheese
Yes.
as well.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Oh, this is so good.
Yeah, they are amazing.
Yeah, it's, you know, look, it didn't come right from the oven. They had to
No,
go
they've traveled. They
into
have
the
traveled
tundra,
today.
in here, and they
Yes.
still taste good. You know
Yes.
what most breadsticks, I'm sorry, there's one particular chain that has I'm sorry, I just said almost, they have breadsticks. They taste like crap after
Hey,
20
where are you
seconds.
located at? Where are you located
We're at
at?
921 Broad Ripple Avenue. We moved a year ago across the street. We bought
Yes.
the building, more stability. We're so happy there. Yeah, what else do you want
And
to
are
know?
you guys doing like any watch parties for the World Cup?
All the watch parties. So the Broad Ripple location is going to have every single match, even the 5 a.m.s.
Yes.
We will be open on Thanksgiving Day, and before you come at me with pitchforks, I'm not asking my staff to come in that day. My husband and I will be there.
How cool is that, huh? Yeah, come on, ladies and gents.
But we will be there for every match, every kick, every goal. We have a full house right now for the Qatar-Ecuador match, as I just left. Super excited. Friday.
Is it Qatar or Qatar?
I say Qatar. I don't know.
Is it
What do you
caramel
think?
or is it caramel?
No, let's not get into that one.
Yeah.
Show the pizza.
Yeah, there's the
This
pizza.
is what Union Jack
We are-
is most
that.
famous for. That is a mini version of the Chicago-style pizza. You go there, it's the most delicious
Yes.
Chicago-style.
We house
What's this
make
with
the
the
dough.
fries? What do we got
That
here?
is our famous fish and chips. It's
is.
the number
Oh.
next to the pizza. That's our number 2 seller.
Right.
We house make the batter. Amazing.
That looks amazing.
House made the host make the coleslaw as well.
Now,
Amazing.
Danielle, you've got some of the fries off camera. Here's what we're going to do. Scott, I want you to speak with our guests here. Danielle's going to toss me fries from across the room.
This is a legitimate tenderloin
That is a
because
legitimate tenderloin.
I had to push it down just to get. Oh, look
Yes.
at this thing.
We don't pound
Oh,
it thin.
man.
We leave it juicy.
Oh,
All right,
my
Danielle, fire in the hole. Let's go.
Thank you. So, Megan, you are part of an organization called what?
I am president of American Outlaws Indianapolis chapter. We are a nonprofit group that was founded in 2007, and we're the unofficial fan group for U.S. men and U.S. women's soccer.
And Megan fits in perfectly on the show because
Yeah.
she almost was late because she was trying to get down bets on the World Cup.
Atta girl.
Who do you
All right.
like in this? World?
I'm gonna ride on the USA. They've got the second youngest squad,
They do.
and they have a fire in them. Like, not making the 2018 World Cup was devastating, and I think I'm with them on it.
And it's my understanding, whoever loses the USA-Wales match has to take Prince Harry home for good. Is that
That makes total sense. And Wales is like the opposite of the USA. They're like one step from a senior citizen home. They
Yeah.
are a lot of old guys, Hall of Famer, man bun, Garrett Sale.
I'm surprised he's not playing golf for the World Cup, to be honest with you.
Thank you very much. So I would tell you that my underdog pick is Uruguay, who could be Uruguay or could be
not another
Uruguay.
one.
What would you say, Megan?
I don't know. I like Argentina, to be honest with you. I think it's.
Are you a messy person?
I am.
There you go.
Somewhat.
I'm
But
just a messy
Uruguay is
eater.
also solid pick too.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for coming. I gotta work. It's Thanksgiving on Thursday. Wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, boys.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I wish they were serving this at my Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, but turkey's good, but
We'll be open.
Indiana is
They're gonna
taking
be
over
open.
on Thursday?
Yes. Did you not listen to her?
Oh, for the World Cup.
For the World Cup.
Okay.
We'll be there.
You're not
Somebody's
usually
talking about
open.
Uruguay to pay attention.
We're talking about how these breadsticks taste like him. Anyway, happy betting, guys. We'll see you here next week. These boys will be here Saturday and Sunday.
Get some food
Happy
from
betting.
Union Jacks. It's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.